I can guarantee you that this is one of the coolest things you've ever seen in someone's garden, and by the end of this video you're going to want your own apple and pumpkin archway as well.
This is my allotment up in Cool Oak Lane in Barnet. I've been here for about 14 years and it's my pride and joy. I was on another plot and I saw this one and it was available at the time, and I thought I would like to be up here. It was a lot bigger than the one I had at the time, and so it gave me an opportunity to plant a few more trees, fruit trees. Years ago I saw the local nurseryman back in South Africa, and outside their little office they trained some plants, and I was fascinated at the time. And I think from that day on I've always been fascinated as people training espalier plants and that, and getting the shapes to them. What I do is all the apples, they're very hard pruned. It's espalier, so I've got 3 levels, 1, 2, 3, and I train the branches along, and then I let a few grow upright and I keep them cut back very hard. And one of the tricks to doing it is it should be done twice a year, where most fruit trees you would do in the autumn, winter. With the espaliers, the way I'm doing it, because it's hard pruning, you do it in midsummer as well, and you cut off a lot of the long green new growth, and it keeps them cut back, so when it comes to the winter it's more shaping rather than cutting back. And I'll lose a little bit of the fruit, but hopefully the quality is better and the plants then don't get out of control. I like pumpkins, and because of the space, I haven't got space to let pumpkins just grow on the ground and spread out, because they can get 20, 30 feet long. And I saw the arches, and at the time the apples were still fairly young, so I had a lot of space, and I thought, well, let me try a few pumpkins to climb up, because pumpkins are vines, they're trailing, so that means they can climb up. And I tried them and it worked very well. So I've done it for a number of years now. Some years a lot better than others. This year's a bit of a disaster, but in the past I've had very good success. It's that whole effect that I'm trying to create, is where the pumpkins and the apples hang down, so they're like little Christmas globes hanging down, and you're just walking through, and as you've noticed this afternoon, if the light catches them perfectly, it just looks so good. It doesn't happen every day, normally 2-3 weeks of the year at this time. It all depends on the light though. The site actually dictated where the tunnel, where my arches would go, because there were a few existing plants here, so I had to sort of weave it in, and I got my shed which is behind there, and I wanted a path leading up to the shed. And when I laid it out, I got a slightly S shape to it, so you can see all the way through, but it's sort of just, you can only just, so you got that nice shape to it. So I put it out that way. Then all I did was using polytunnel tubing. I put the little posts in at the bottom, and then you just add the extensions on with a top bar across to hold it all together. And later on I added the other bars to give it more stability, and also to help me with the training, because that gives me the framework that I need. And then at each post I've got an apple tree, all on semi-dwarf rootstock. And then I've also got quite a lot of clematis, I've got a lot of climbing roses, I've got wisteria, and there's a few other things that I've got growing up there as well. When you're going through the catalogue, especially in the middle of winter, it always looks so enticing and you just want to buy everything. But having planted some of them, they're not suited for what I'm doing. The one that I mentioned was Katie, which is a good apple and it's used for cider, but I don't find it particularly tasty for eating, and it also drops its fruit very early and very quickly. So you'll come up one week, it'll all be hanging there ready to all ripe, and then you come the next week, it'll all be on the ground. So there's a few varieties like that. I like giving them away, but it is a bit of a problem as to what to do, because I don't want to waste them. And so I do take a lot to work, and I try to encourage the guys there to go and give them away to their family, friends as well. And I normally get rid of most of it. Any sort of an arch, the only sort of tip that I would give you, make sure that it's high enough, and the width. So even if it's a small space, sort of where you stretch your arms out, no smaller than that, because it just becomes claustrophobic. It doesn't work. You want the air circulation, you want the light getting through there. So something that's comfortable. So rather get the actual diameter right. The length you can adjust to whatever you've got. It can be 1 meter, it could be just a single arch. Doesn't have to be a whole long section like this. So a short one, 2 posts like that with your arches on the top. And you can plant, it can be apples, it can be pears, it could be roses, it could be anything you want. There's no limit to it. Because of the height, this is most probably 6-7 foot. I'm 6 foot, so yeah, about 7 foot. So whatever you can reach, so if you're a slightly shorter person, maybe you wouldn't want it so tall. The whole trick is I don't want to have to get a ladder out to do any of the work. I just want to be able to reach up comfortably and do any pruning that I need, or pick the fruit, or just say hello to it. I like every season. I just think the winters are a little bit long. So this last year with the short winter, because we had the good weather all from March onwards, was wonderful. And the fruits has responded as well, because I've never had such a good crop of any of it. The plums, the pears, the peaches, the apples, all very good. But yeah, no, I like all the seasons. I look forward to the autumn. I like the change of the season. In the middle of winter, that's when I tend to do a lot of the hard work. So all the digging, getting it prepared, putting compost in, getting it ready for the next season. So the year just sort of flows along, and I've got it to a point where I've got the tasks, I know when to do them, and it all just fits together, so I'm never pressurized to do anything, and I can just tick along very nicely. Works very well for me. And I think my lawn, that's what sets it all off. It's when my grass is nice and green. It's a tip for anybody. I can put all the mess on the lawn and I just run over with the lawnmower and it looks really good. So it's a labor saving technique, certainly for me. And I think a lot of people could do that. You can just throw all your rubbish on the lawn, run the mower over and then compost it. So there's none of that weed and keeps the weeds down. Normally I walk around barefoot. And it's just, yeah, it's really nice. And I do like putting stripes on my lawn. It's nothing better. Even for all of those who like their wildflowers, I'll still have the lawn.
Inspired, I certainly am. And it is something that I'm now like, ooh, I'd really like one of those here. But obviously, if you've got a smaller garden, you don't need to make it quite to that scale. It's just an amazing idea. And if you're looking for more inspiration to watch, I've got a video here and a playlist there that's just full of other amazing gardeners who are doing really interesting things.